The article I'll be doing now is segmenting motivation and analysis of fantasy baseball motives and mediated sport consumption. This article is good in that it talks about fantasy baseball, which is another different fantasy sport, one of the most popular ones, second most behind football. So this article was pretty much trying to explore fantasy football motives, develop a motive-based taxonomy of users, and quantify the differences between segments through an examination of media sports consumption. So one thing that this article is trying to see is that do the people who play fantasy football, do they really watch baseball as much? Do they play fantasy baseball just for the luck of it? Because more people like to play fantasy football, actually pay attention to football. People who play fantasy baseball is more on for the money, and they also wanted to see, they wanted to discover the consumer demographics, the consumer psychographics, and the product related variables. When it comes to methodology of this, they did a survey, just like as one of the other articles I talked about, where they had 18 and older. They selected 18 or older adults, and they got a sample of 1,500 potential respondents who were randomly selected from a group of 3,400 FSTA fantasy members, which FSTA stands for Fantasy Sports Trade Association. 303 respondents began the survey and 47 discontinued, so in total 253 completed, and it was a 12-item scale, and there was 3 motives that were included in it, which was social interaction, competition, and entertainment. Now, when it came to the results, the main thing they wanted to see was the motivations of why people would play fantasy football. Now, one of the most popular ones, obviously, competition. You know, just trying, as I've said before, just trying to get wins. Another one, social interaction, trying to get along with friends, family. And the most popular one for fantasy baseball is gambling, and that is because a lot of people who play fantasy football, baseball, are trying to make money, and it's said gambling. Fantasy sports is not gambling, but the biggest motivation would be gambling because they're trying to make money. And another one, and the last one that they said, was entertainment, just trying to have the fun of fantasy baseball. So I think this article did a pretty good job on saying the motivations of fantasy baseball.